Hello students, this is going to be a skill building video tutorial for Autodesk Inventor. I'm going to cover a variety of skills in this video, and what I want you to do is follow along and answer the questions that I lay out for you, and also create any of the parts and do any of the little clicks and skills that I show you in this video. So there's going to be a variety of things happening. So first off, have Autodesk Inventor open. When you have it open, you arrive at your home screen, and you should be able to see your parts, all the stuff that you've made in the recent documents section here. So let's say, for example, you finished a part or you didn't finish a part, but you need to go back into it to make adjustments or change something on it. So for example, let's look at exercise 3 that we've already completed. So find that file and double click it to open it. If it's not in your recent documents, that's okay. Let's let this finish opening. What you can do is go back into the home button by clicking on that little home button or clicking it here. And then you have this open folder where you can find and open any files. On the bottom, you have tabs here, so you can see how that works. So you can have multiple files open. So if I wanted to open another, here's problem 1-8. If I double click that and open that up, it'll just put itself right here on the right side. And you can go between those two parts if you're working on a couple parts at the same time. So let's say I asked you to open up exercise 03 and I want you to change some of its features or add some features to it. On the left side, you have this thing called the browser. So this is an important skill that you should know. There's these little plus buttons that will open up when you have an extrusion. You'll see all these little pluses. It'll open it up, and then you can actually see the sketch that you drew to create that extrusion. So for example, let's say I wanted to change the radius or the diameter of this outside circle, this outside half circle. What you would have to do is hover over sketch 1 or whatever the sketch number is, right click on it and click edit sketch. This will allow you to go back into your original sketch and make adjustments. So let's say I wanted it to be 30 instead of 25. So you would double click on the dimension, type in 30 and click the little check, and it'll update it here. And then when you click finish sketch, you'll see that it changes the part. You'll also notice that it did not keep it centered. So we should go back in and fix it and make it centered. Again, right click on that sketch, click edit sketch, and we want to constrain it. So here's another skill, constraints. This section in the ribbon are all your constraints. So if I want the center of this circle to be in the exact middle of the entire part, what I need to do is to constrain it. There's a couple ways I can do that. I think my favorite way to make things lined up is using either the horizontal or vertical constraint. So with the vertical constraint, it'll line up 2 points vertically. So if I click on that, and if I click on the center of that circle, I can then find the midpoint of this bottom line here. So when I find it, it'll give me a little dot, and I just click on it and watch what happens to the circle. It centers it, or not, it doesn't, it centers it with the midpoint, but it vertically aligns. That's what that vertical alignment constraint does. Now I can click finish sketch and we'll see the part update. So that's one way, or a couple ways that you could go into and change a sketch. What if I wanted to change the extrusion? What if I wanted to make this shorter? Same thing, you hover over the extrusion, whatever number it might be, and you right click, and then instead of clicking edit sketch, you click edit feature. So for the feature, you would click on that, and then your menu for that particular feature will pop up. So that the feature was an extrusion. And a feature is any of these things. Like it could have been a fillet, a chamfer, a hole. You'll see it change. So what I'll do is I'll add a hole or a fillet or something, and then you'll see how that changes. So I've clicked on the edit feature. Now let's say I wanted to make it shorter. I just highlight that distance, make it 50 and click OK. And now the part is shorter. Okay, so let's say I want to add some features to it, like a chamfer or fillet. So fillet, if I click on fillet, I have the radius right here, which I can change. But I'm going to click on this corner right here first. Hold on, let's 0 selected. Let's click on this point right here. Then I can click on the radius. Let's make that 10. And now we can see that fillet. Okay, apply, and I'm going to close that little window. So now it has that fillet feature. It's not the same color as everything else because it's a new feature. I'll show you how to color in a moment here. But now I have this extrusion, or this fillet feature right here in the browser. So, let's say you messed up and you put in the wrong radius. All you have to do is hover over it, right click, edit feature, and just change the radius to whatever the correct radius might have been. Okay, so now let's say I want to make that match the same color as everything else. In the Tools tab right here, you have your Appearance, Material, and Appearance section. So if I wanted, let's say I wanted to clear everything, so I can click Clear, click and drag across the whole part, and then check, and now it's cleared off. And then I'll click Adjust, highlight everything, and then move my mouse around or move this little square and around the circular color wheel here to whatever color I want it to be, and click OK. So while we're in the Tools menu, here's another skill, Material. If I click on Material, I actually can make the part a specific type of material, like concrete or copper. So for example, if I click on copper, there's this little up arrow, so I got to click on that little up arrow, and then I'll click on copper, and then I'll click on the part, and it should update. It didn't update for me. Oh, something's happening. Nope, that's not doing it. Let's try that again. Click Material, Copper. Become Copper. Material, Copper. Huh. Why is that not working? Give me 1 second. Did it become copper? Okay, if I want to find if it became copper, I need to go to File, iProperties, go to Physical. Oh, it did become copper right here, where it says Material. So here's another skill that you should know, because it's definitely on the NOCD exam and other exams. Changing the material, you change the material to whatever material it might ask you in the test. So if it's asking for steel, click the up. Now the part is steel. Let me double check. Go to File, iProperties, Physical. See how it says steel here? Here's the engineering important parts that you need to know. Density. This part is 7.85 grams per centimeter, or per cubic centimeter. That's how dense this particular part is. Let me click Update here. Always click Update. The mass, it shows you the mass. It shows you how much area it has, how much volume it has, its center of gravity. This is all crucial information for parts. And you use this information when you're designing parts that are going to be used to hold weight or in a variety of mechanical applications. We have some inertial properties here, like the center of gravity. You might be able to, you might be asked on a quiz like, all right, find the center of gravity. All you need is to find this information here in order to find the center of gravity. We click Close. But what if I wanted it to actually look like steel or copper? So let's click on Material. I'm gonna click on Copper again, so it should become copper. It shows right here that it's copper. In the Appearance tab, or in the Appearance button, I have a row of materials. So if I click on copper, let me highlight this, and then click copper, now it becomes copper. So you can do that with a variety of, there's all kinds of materials in this material library. Let's say, what if I wanted it to be chrome? So you click on Chrome, click on the little up arrow, Chrome becomes available, highlight the part, click on Chrome, close that. Now it is chromed out. So let's say I wanted to make it look even more realistic. Go to View. The View tab, you have visual styles. You have realistic, shaded, shaded with hidden edges. So if I click on shaded with hidden edges, I can see the hidden lines of the edges. Click on realistic. Now it looks a little bit more realistic. How cool is that? Okay. What else? Let's do shaded with edges. Okay. Another skill. New skill. The view cube. This is a very, very important part of Autodesk Inventor because it shows you the front, the top, all of the side surfaces and their names. If I wanted to, so this corner shows me this isometric view. This corner shows this isometric view. Let's say our part was flipped in a way that we didn't like where the home setting was. Let's say I actually wanted it to be this view for the home setting. So what you would do is you would move your mouse on top of the corner right here. And, oops, I clicked wrong. Right click on it. And, okay, you can't see. Let me move this window over. Oops. Let me move the window over so you can actually see. Let me minimize this. Because the video is cutting off on the right side there. Hold on. So, okay, here we go. So you would right click on the corner. Now you can see that menu. And you have several options here. So orthographic, that's the native option. That's what we want. But if we did on perspective, that's what it would look like if it was actually right in front of you physically. Then you can do set current view as home, either fix distance or fit to view. So if I click on that, now let's say I move this around, I click on home, it'll go back to where I just set it to. When I click on that corner, I can set the current view as the top view or the front view. Don't ever do that for a corner. That's wrong. And then of course I can always reset the front. So that's how you work with the view cube. Okay, so in this skill builder lesson, what did we do? We did a bunch of stuff. Go back, review it. There's going to be a couple questions attached to this assignment that you'll have to answer. And of course, if you get stuck with anything, ask questions, ask for help. So that's your first skill builder video. And I hope it showed you a lot of new things.